All right, moving on here, and it wouldn't be a TFW show if Johnny didn't sneak DeAndre Swift into the show notes somehow.
Yeah, baby.
So we'll put it up here. Dave Kluge talking about our guy, DeAndre Swift. Prior to his injury last year, DeAndre Swift was the RB5 in fantasy football and led all running backs in targets. 4-for-4 ADP has him at 204 and his RB number 9. Johnny, you got to talk to Dave about your boy DeAndre here.
Yeah, Dave, I just, I'm like the residential DeAndre Swift truther on this show. So I think it only right, being that you had this tweet. How high do you think you could reasonably, because people might not take my word for it on this show because they might think I'm biased a little bit. How high would you take DeAndre Swift this year? Like, how high do you think would be before you're reaching for your guy, as we like to say here?
Again, so I do rankings a little bit differently. As the season goes on, I'll tweak my rankings a little bit to try to reflect ADP. But right now, I'm trying to plant flags with my rankings and trying to figure out where I think these guys are going to finish. I already talked about one of my spicier rankings with it, which is Leonard Fournette as RB3, but my RB4 is DeAndre Swift. I mean, I am all in on this guy. Baby. I think he's just a phenomenal talent. The offense is going to run through him. The one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about, though, and people seem to forget about this or just don't want to talk about it, he was awful as a rusher last year. Like, not just
we just don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it.
Awful as a rusher. But what this guy can do.
Getting canceled by Johnny over here, Dave.
Hey, but listen, I still got the guy as my fourth running back off the board. I mean, I love his talent. What he can do in the passing game is absolutely insane. There aren't a lot of guys that can take a ball to the house from anywhere on the field. I mean, when you're looking at that, it's Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones. I mean, it's a pretty short list of guys that are able to do that. I'm just enamored with DeAndre Swift when I watch this guy on the field. So he is my fourth running back off the board. And one of my favorite things, you hear about hero running back all the time, where you draft your running back in the first round and then you go out and you get all your wide receivers. My favorite move this year has been taking one of those top 3 receivers, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase. I take one of those guys in the first round. Then I get DeAndre Swift in the second round, which is a top 5 running back value for me. And then I go with my receivers after. So it's kind of like, I feel like I'm getting like a hero wide receiver and a hero running back, and then still getting my wide receiver depth after the fact. I don't understand why DeAndre Swift is slipping into the second round. He's a phenomenal value. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah, I mean,
neither can I.
Yeah, he's definitely elite pass catcher, but the rushing is a concern. And Jamal Williams still under contract, somebody that they're going to continue to grind with. But again, in fantasy, like it really doesn't matter if you're established in that receiving role. Any concern with you with a full slate, Dave, of the if the Lions are fully healthy? Would that take away from kind of the ceiling that Swift has in the receiving game? Like if Hawkinson's really dealing, maybe halfway through the year to get Jamison Williams into the lineup, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown established himself as well. Any of the new additions too in free agency?
Not especially, because with Jared Goff as the quarterback, those check down passes are still going to be there. I mean, that's all he's done since he came into the league. Or just, they didn't have a running back. Well, they had Todd Gurley catching him for a little bit, but I mean, that's pretty much what Robert Woods did. I mean, you can almost compare DeAndre Swift to Robert Woods in the roles that they play in this offense. So, as much as I love the long-term outlook for what the Detroit Lions could be once they get a very capable quarterback, right now, there are still going to be plenty of checkdowns heading DeAndre Swift's way. I'm expecting 5 to 6 targets per game.
Love it, love it, love it.
Right here.
You made it to the end of the video. Our algorithm overlords tell us you need to subscribe now.